Hello everyone, welcome to the Season 5 finale of the Bryce Talk Show. Yes, it has been in hiatus. The Bryce Talk Show hasn't had anything since June, but we got a lot to discuss here. Let's get right to it. So first we're going to discuss about the Columbus Airshow coming up in over a week. We're going to talk about YouTube's AI age verification, which rolled out today. We're also going to be talking about Windows 10 memories with that and its 10-year anniversary and how Windows 11 became, and my new equipment here. I got this Beelink Mini PC running Windows 11 Pro. As always, if you want to switch from topic to topic, you got the chapter indexing on every topic, so if you want to listen to whatever topic, just switch between. And without further ado, let's begin this show. Alright, so let's talk about the first thing, which is the Columbus Airshow, which will be at Rickenbacker International. Next week on the 22nd is when it'll start, so from a week from this week, it's August 13th, today, Wednesday, as I'm recording this, August 13th, 2025, and it's only a week away, so Friday the 22nd is when I will be going. That's going to be a hell of a good show. We're going to have the Columbus Blue Angels are going to be here this year. We had Thunderbirds play last year, which was a great vlog. Y'all should check it out if you haven't already. Lots and lots and lots of fun. I'm going to hope to vlog this one because this is going to be a lot more fun. And I'm going to bring a friend over, and he's going to go to the air show along with us. So we're going to go there, and it's probably going to be an all-day event. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I thought it was cool last year when I was getting on these airplanes too. New or old aircraft, but either way. I thought that was fun. And of course, the headliners, these different things that were showing, these jets, airplanes that were going off. And drag racing. Although when that happened, that's when I was going on to look at the aircraft. So that way I wasn't sitting down in the chair all day. It's going to be a very interesting time. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot, although normally I don't bitch about the heat. Alright, I don't really do that, except the fact that it's open and there's hardly any shade. Well, there's no shade because it's in the airport, outside the airport, so there's no shade. And drinks get cold and everything in between. And of course you can't bring mugs and whatever drinks you may have that can stay cool, but I think it'll be a good time. Make sure everything's ready, the GoPro's ready, and everything that I want to bring, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll talk more about that when I'm back, and of course give the big video to you, because that'll be fun. And I'll talk a little bit about that when I'm back from the show. We've got tickets to this. I think April we got tickets to the Friday event. I don't think we have for any other day, but Friday I'm definitely going there. So if you see me, say hi. All right. There's going to be a couple people going with me, of course. So it's going to be pretty fun again. So let's talk about the YouTube AI age verification. So, July 29th, YouTube makes a post in their blog saying they're going to want to protect others from, protect the children. Well, if you thought COPPA, C-O-P-P-A, was worse, which in 2019 they had the whole thing where, you got to set videos made for kids and not for kids. And if you mislabeled them, they were afraid what would happen to them, forfeiture they had to pay, or just channels being screwed, and it caused a lot of panic. This, just as worse. They're requiring government issued IDs, face recognition, and they're going to be requiring this stuff. And if there's nothing that doesn't, there's definitely going to be some exploits there. There's going to be a lot of stuff that can go wrong. And, it's different when you give your ID to a bartender if you're at the bar, or if you're at the movies, or if you're, or seeing some adult show, whatever. But you're giving this stuff to the internet, and that stuff stays on the internet. You're giving it to a bar owner, or a club owner, whatever the case may be. Different story. This rolled out today, August 13th, and it looks like they're, I guess, from what I've been reading, scanning videos, seeing videos you watch. So if you're watching like more childish videos and watch adult content, they might ask for the ID. Or if you're like reliving your past and you're watching stuff like that, I don't know. Look, I'm all big into AI, especially with what I can do, especially audio-based, voice cloning-based, notebook LM stuff, music stuff, any kind of creative side. But AI like this, there's something that's gonna go wrong. Something's gonna go wrong. All right, something's gonna go wrong, and and it's not just about protecting them, because really, it's not about protecting them. In fact, the parents should be the one doing it. It's more about, censorship on a whole new level when you have them issuing IDs, when they want your IDs and stuff. And it's not only that. I mean, look at what the UK's doing. They're doing all this kind of stuff too. And Xbox now, like if you want to do certain stuff, I mean, a lot of the stuff is doing it. Xbox, Spotify now requiring IDs if you want to listen to adult content. Bro, fuck off. I ain't giving you my ID, bro. Because, I mean, it's, like I said, it's a different story. It's basically tracking in a nutshell right there, and they don't need it. They don't need it. And, see, this is what they're starting to do now. And especially in YouTube's case, having AI try to guess your age based on what you watch, I mean, I don't know. Or it could also determine, depending on how long you've had your account. So, I mean, I could be good because I've had this account for damn near since 2017. But, there's always something that goes wrong and stuff like this. So, I think YouTube about shot themselves in the foot because they started doing stuff like this. I mean, that's insane. Again, different if you're giving IDs to like the casino or the bar, the club, or to fly, or to drive, or showing the police. But, having stuff like this to do stuff online, now screw off. So, I mean, that's another huge thing recently. And we'll see how far this thing goes. Hell, I'd boycott it if that were the case. I'd just show, I got songs downloaded. I got videos downloaded here. I grabbed off YouTube. Oops. I got stuff, literally. So, yeah, whole thing's a mess. And hopefully a lot of the websites don't go in down this direction, because it's definitely going to change the internet forever. And not a lot of people are talking about it unless you're online, but it's a pretty big deal. Because, I mean, you're basically, having them scan ID. Who cares? Why would you need that now? Y'all just screw off. So, alright. Now that I just discussed that, because I wanted to talk about that, because that recently just rolled out today. For some, I wonder who experienced it, and who, and if anybody's doing it. I mean, I haven't said anything about that while being on YouTube today, but who knows? But yeah, it should be all on the parents. If the parents were doing the job, guess what? We wouldn't have this stuff on YouTube and everywhere else. So, it's basically their fault. On to the next discussion for tonight. I want to get to more tech side, because we're talking Windows 10's 10th anniversary and the push for 11, and my equipment right here that I'm running right now that I just got like 2 weeks ago. So, as you know, Windows 10 was released on July 29th, 2015, and which means that it is 10 years old as of 2 weeks ago. And, it's pretty big. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Windows 8, but 10 was pretty huge. You had Cortana, which I remember it was on the start menu or on the desktop. You had it on there. A lot of AI stuff came to 10, although a lot of the AI stuff now is on 11 now, when you think about, Recall and Copilot. And, you also had Edge that was introduced, although maybe that was on 8. But we have Edge, which I remember when Microsoft Edge was around when it started. Using screen readers was not very great. For example, JAWS was not really great with it. I don't believe the built-in narrator was good for it. The built-in screen reader narrator for Windows was not good for it. And this is 2016, 2017 stuff, so... but I'm not sure how NVDA responded, because I wasn't using that at the time yet. But Microsoft Edge was not a good thing for screen readers until 2018. I'd say 2018 when really they fixed it, but of course I was on Chrome and still use it. But, it was a mess. That's why, for example, if I did school, I would use IE, Internet Explorer, or Chrome, because Edge just was not working for me. So, at that time. Now, I got this Dell Inspiron laptop that I don't use anymore. I pretty much dismantled that. I have it, sitting in the dresser, but, I have this new Beelink hooked up. And I had this Dell Inspiron since, August something, 2016, so I had it for about good 9 years running Windows 10 Home. There's a lot that happened with that thing. It's had ups and downs, like the time when it was on the just a moment screen when I was trying to log in and I had no speech. But even then, if I type my info and try to log in, it was just on that screen with just a moment written on it with your name, and then black screen or whatever. According to people who saw that, because I was showing people like, hey, this is a problem. And which then I got reset at Geek Squad, and this was in 2021, by the way, when this happened. And then also for 2021, I had the prom was bent, so that happened. Now the PC can't stay powered; it has to be connected all the time, or else it'll lose battery. But I think this happened. 2020-ish. I forget. But it happened where I could not unplug that thing for any reason, or else it would die. But aside from the hiccups here and there, it was a good little machine, and I've had it for many years. If I still continued to use it next year, it would be a decade. That machine didn't support 11, although I could still run 11, but I don't think it'd be a really great experience running it on something like that. I remember that a lot. Windows 10 was also big on these creator updates every spring and fall, for those who may remember. Then we had times where they said, yeah, it's going to be the last version of Windows ever supported. Windows 10 will be supported forever, and there was rumors of new Windows 11 in 2016, 2017, although never came true until 4 years ago. We got the announcement on June that 11 was coming, Windows 11 was coming, and that it was going to be pretty huge. The big takeaways from that was they promoted Teams like no tomorrow, which is another reason Skype is dead, and I talked about that on the May 5th episode of the Bryce Talk Show, and another episode back in March when I first heard of the news. And, yeah, it was pretty big. But we also had the ability to run Android apps on PC, Phone Link, which Phone Link became something on Windows 10 too, where you can pair phone an iPhone or Android to Windows. And we have a lot of the AI stuff, which some got into Windows 10. A lot of the stuff got into 11, but that was later. The thing that needs to be stood out is Windows 11 had 4 months of beta testing. So it was announced in June, then the beta was released. So maybe either it was July or when it came out, or June. So I'd say it had 4 months to 5 months of beta testing. I forget when it was actually released, so they could only test it that long. So it was pretty rushed before released. A lot of people, from my experience, reading a lot of stuff online, say it was rushed. It was funny. I actually had a friend who is known as Dan, and Dan installed Windows 11 on his Raspberry Pi, a Linux Raspberry Pi, back in October of 2021, which was when 11 was new. And of course it had its very steep system requirements. It still does to an extent. And I was on a Team Talk server, and I was talking to him, and I was hearing him messing with it. I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I'm installing it on a Raspberry Pi. I'm like, really? I said, that's insane, bro. So I just sat on here. It took a long time to download it, and then install it, and then all that. And then the tough thing was trying to get through the setup screen. He kept hitting next and next and next and next. I don't know if he was missing anything or checking any boxes, or if just it couldn't really run well on the Raspberry Pi, whatever the case may be. It just did not go well for him. I actually have the audio that I'll link down below in the description so you can play it. It's actually on Jacket FM. Even though Jacket is shut down, all the archives from the audio that has been shared is still up. So, yeah, it was very interesting. And 11 became, dominant, but a lot of us were still on 10, including myself. But a lot of people didn't like 11. A lot of people stayed on 10, unless you're a gamer, but a lot of people stayed on 10. I was on 10, especially because mine didn't support 11. And Windows 11 got changes all the time, so, there's a lot that went down. We got Recall, which is the AI stuff. We got Copilot, which somehow got into 10, but it's big on 11 now. It's basically in your face. The start menu is different. Definitely a lot different. File Explorer, a lot of the stuff is organized into tabs, some of the stuff. And, yeah, so there's a lot different. Some in a good way that I can get into and use. And, so it's pretty interesting what it's become. Now I have right here, as I'm talking to you, on a Yeti microphone that a friend named Creighton actually got me. I'm actually talking on a Yeti microphone, but I'm actually using a Beelink with a AMD Ryzen 9 with 32 gigs of RAM, running 3.3 gigahertz, but can be expanded to 4.9 if you're running a whole bunch of stuff. This thing is a beast, bro. No, I know it's not a Mac, but for what it is, it's really a nice little machine. You can get it on the official Beelink. It's like $400, but you get pretty good graphics just for that. Than like something you get for like $1,000 or something at Best Buy or something. This thing can be pretty good. Got it hooked up. Got a keyboard hooked up to it. Monitor, all that, but probably don't need that. But I still have all that stuff hooked up. I only got one USB port because I got everything else hooked up, speakers and all. So I only got one USB port. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting to see what I can get into on here. Perfect for AI stuff, too, especially on this little beast. I can run Applio, which is like an RVC, retrieval-based voice conversion in a nutshell, but just a little better with the web UI. Even big programs like Ableton Live would run better on this thing. You know, I even run StemRuler is like separating vocals and instrumentals and stuff of any song. And on my old Dell Inspiron, that took like 25 minutes, maybe, give or take, to half an hour to process a track and stem all the instrumentals and vocals and keys and other tracks in there. With this thing, it'll take you 2 minutes plus, which for this thing is definitely a lot quicker than my old Dell Inspiron. And that's the truth. It's a lot more different in a good way. And the fact that it won't even take long at all to process and stem all the tracks for me on a song. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. And it's a good thing. Because, and by the way, StemRuler is free and open source. You can get it for Windows and Mac. So, yeah, it's been pretty interesting with how good things actually run here. We'll see how long this lasts. Hopefully it lasts a pretty long time. And I'm sure it'll be another great machine in the books. And even when I turn it on, it's a lot shorter, which is good. I mean, this thing boots up, and you don't even hear the fan on this thing. Like, the fan's not too loud, and this thing does not heat. This thing will not overheat. Beelinks like this one do not overheat. You could leave it on all night if you wanted to, or if you had to do something where you had to leave it on. It does not care. This thing will go through anything. This is a beast. So, yeah. The only thing I noticed that was weird for me, that it didn't have a built-in microphone, but I honestly understood because this is a desktop machine, not a laptop. But at least I had a bunch of mics I could use for a computer microphone. For example, this little Yeti mic. And I've got other mics too, but I've been using this since I got this one recently. And, but yeah, it was kind of different because, you know, I always got the built-in Realtek mics on a laptop. And, so, definitely a lot different, but I mean, it's definitely great once you get into it, so. Yeah, it's definitely a big thing. At least for me anyway, it's pretty huge. And we'll see what I can do with it next. I think it'll be great. And I'll keep talking about more and more about it as soon as I can. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for the Bryce Talk Show and for this season. And, you know, had a pretty good season, long one, but pretty good, and we're gonna end it off here. Season 6 will start at some point. I'll be talking about summer because summer is on the end almost. I'm gonna be talking about my fave things and things that's been going on with me, as I like to usually try to do every year. Stay tuned for that. Hey, stay tuned for that vlog for the Columbus Air Show, because that's gonna be a lot of fun. And I really think you'll enjoy it. So, without further ado, I'll end this episode and subscribe for more and share the video if you enjoy. Peace.